Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hi, guys, and welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. I break down all things Celebrity Big Brother. Season 3. I am awake. It's 2 a.m. here on the West Coast. Yes, we are partying. The feeds were crazy today. So I just got caught up on everything. Yes, Mrs. Kiki, the foolishness. We have to have some fun and kind of roast it, make fun of it, and recap it. So Game of Thrones, Joleen is joining you tonight. I am the North something. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm very tired, but I can't stop watching these damn feeds. And this show continues to be very entertaining and also frustrating, which is what Big Brother kind of always does to us. So let's smash the like, you guys. Let's set a like goal for 2,000. Let's just go crazy. Let's go ham up in this piece. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yes, you get to watch me, Stacy, at 2 a.m. I mean, they're sleeping right now, so the feeds aren't good right now. So once they went to sleep and chilled out, I was like, okay. And I had to catch up because I have to have a life. I had to go to Old Navy today and I have to do other stuff. And, I had to spend time in the hot tub. So I had to come back and catch up on what I missed. All right. So here we go. Thank you, husband. I said, husband, tell me if you can hear me. Okay, here we go. Here's what's going on these live feeds. And please let me know all your thoughts, hopes, dreams, and opinions. And follow me on social media. We are almost to 800 on the TikTok. You guys, I might hit 1,000. That means I can go live from TikTok. You all are amazing. I put a Cynthia video up today on TikTok. And I've been trying to put more and more stuff up on TikTok. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you want to support the channel, you guys know the deal. Venmo, Cash App. I'm so tired. YouTube, whatever it's called. What is it called? Super chat. Okay. Let's get into it. Here's what's going on. There will be tons of spoilers. Okay. So we know that Carson Kressley won the HOH, which was amazing. Okay. We were so excited. Last night I was like, oh my God, I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I can watch Celebrity Big Brother season 3. And then things got weird today. Hello, Texas. Hello, Larissa. So immediately we're thinking, all right, well, Carson is HOH. That means him and Cynthia and Shanna are safe because they have that chocolate pink bedroom kind of alliance thingy going on. And Misha just put Carson on the block and Cynthia and has been gunning for him. So there's no way that it won't be very cut and dry. They're going to have a chill week. Like Shayna Moakler said, oh, it's going to be nice not to have to worry. Insert today. So here's what happened. So Todrick Hall, I'm going to have to vent about Todrick Hall. Like I wanted to be so pro Todrick Hall. It is very difficult. It is very difficult. I'm going to share some screenshots I got here too, guys. This is what you see on the feeds most of the time, just in case you were wondering. So this is what we're used to seeing. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. This morning, they wake up. I'll just go into kind of, what happened. It was a celebration last night, for me at least, for Carson winning. And then this morning they wake up and they're talking about moving forward with a final 4 with Todrick. So Todrick sneaks into the, chocolate pink bedroom. And he was like, yeah, I would totally be down with that. And they're like, well, you have to guarantee you'll keep the nominations the same. And at first they were like, you can tell Misha, you can take her off if you want. I mean, they were implying, giving him a lot of freedom. And then Shayna, the only gamer in the group, really, who seems to know what's going on between Carson and Cynthia, and their little threesome, is like, no. Okay, you have to tell him, make sure he knows that, like, I know you said you wouldn't put him up, but if he can't promise you that, like, you don't want him to feel super safe. And tell him if he does win the veto, he's got to keep the noms the same if you put up Misha and Todd. And they're like, oh, okay. And then Cynthia, I mean, God bless Cynthia, but she is just like, well, I think it's good to be transparent and to tell everybody everything. Okay. I'm menstruating right now and I want everybody to know about it. No, she didn't say that, but you know what I mean? She's like, I had cottage cheese for breakfast and I farted in the chalet. And I just think it's good to be transparent. And I'm like, no, it's actually not with the people maybe you trust and shit, but not with the whole damn house. And especially Todrick, who's coming for you. But Carson and Cynthia have this softness for Todrick that is so frustrating because he's not really working with them. He's been working against them. He's been gunning for Carson. He could have easily stuck with the formation, but it didn't go Todrick's way. So he was like, that's it. I don't want to be in formation anymore because Teddy Mellencamp's here and I don't like her. I don't like her dad's music. And I'm not a fan of Meg Ryan movies. So I'm out. So right away, Todrick teamed up with Misha Tate. But yet Carson is just so soft to Todrick. And so is Cynthia. It's like, but we enjoy him. What do you enjoy about him? Him wanting to put you on the block or him wanting to put you on the block more and stab you in the back? And that's fine. It's part of the game. But it's just cuckoo bananas that they're so just like, yes, Todrick, we will welcome you back with open arms. And I will come to you with open arms. And so Todrick's like, well, can I tell Misha? And Cynthia's like, of course you can. This is Big Brother. What? You can't lie in Big Brother. I have integrity. It's integral. These celebrities and their damn integrity, can they shove it up their asses? Because this is too much with this integrity. Chris Kirkpatrick everyone was talking about integrity. You can have integrity without completely blowing up your game in the games of others. And you don't have to tell everyone everything. It is so crazy. Okay. So as Sheena's trying to explain to them, like, no, you guys, like, we want him to, if we're going to kind of go in a final four with him, he has to help us get Misha out. And yeah, he can maybe tell her a little bit of like, hey, I was approached. But I would have told him, you can't tell her shit. You can't tell her anything. And if we find out you tell her something, you're going on the block. You're going on the block. That's how it is. Because you haven't been playing with us. You haven't been playing on our side of the house. I love you, but where have you been? You've been watching her lift medicine balls. That's not helping our team. Okay, you've been around here saying really weird things, and we'll get to that because Todrick has been saying some out-of-pocket things. This guy, what is his deal? I did not know. All I knew about Todrick was what you guys told me. And then that he hung out with the cookout. And I'm thinking, it can't be that bad. He hung out with the cookout. Holy shit. I don't know. I might have to talk to Todrick. Not that he would talk to me, but I can see maybe why the social medias are not very kind to him. I mean, this guy likes to talk shit and he likes to be mean. He likes to be real mean. Like, there's one thing to lie about game stuff, make up stuff in the game, but he takes it personal, like very personal. It is weird. It is very weird. Okay. So, Carson and Cynthia, they're just like, and Carson's like, I'm just glad to have you back in the fold, kid. I'm just so happy. And I'm thinking, Carson, why do you have to be so flippin' nice to him? What is it, you guys? You have to, someone text RuPaul, get Ru on the line and just say, hey, listen, Carson's getting played for a fool here by Todrick. I mean, can RuPaul help? Can somebody help out in this situation? This is just really, really bad and embarrassing at this point. I'm just like, Carson, get up, brush your hair, put some pomade in, and let's play. Let's do this. I love you, but this generosity, it's too much in a game like Big Brother. Okay. So then Todrick comes back in because that's what he does. As Shayna's trying to be like, okay, don't give him any ideas how he can get out of this. All right. Him and Misha need to be on the hot seat a little. If it's our side versus theirs, let him sweat a little bit. This is Big Brother. We can still be kind, but like game wise, don't give him all these outs. And the more time you give someone like Todrick to, have scenarios and make up stuff in his head, he's going to do that. And sure enough, that's what ends up happening later in the day. And then Shayna says when Todrick comes back in the room in the morning, she says, you don't want to be put on the block. Okay. So that's what Carson's asking, for your guarantee that you will keep noms the same. And I'm like, yes, say it. Say it. Don't spray it. I love it. Okay. And then Carson's like, yes, all we want is for you, Todrick, to keep nominations the same and then come work with us because we love you. XOXO. Gossip Girl. And Todrick's like, okay. Todrick gave the okay, and he was given the okay as well to be honest with Misha. Like I said, like he said, this is the best option for me to roll forward with you moldy oldies. So I will do that. I will do that. I am a former YouTuber. I am Todrick Hall. Have you seen me dance? Okay. So then he leaves. And then Shanna said, okay, that was good. I feel better, that we were able to tell him clearly, like, you have to keep noms the same. And we're going to have to get rid of Misha at this point. And that's just the way it is, unless she, wins the veto or something. But, and then if she wins the veto, they were like, you can go back and work with her. You can cut our throats. And it's like, oh my God, no, but that's how these celebrities are playing it. So now she feels so much better. Todd all morning was like, where's my shoe? He lost his Vans. He lost his 14-year-old Vans. And by 14-year-old, I mean what 14-year-olds wear, but I wear Vans too. So I can't really talk about that. But Todd was like, has anyone seen my shoes? Who's seen my shoes? My shoes. And he was blaming Chris Kirkpatrick. And it turns out Lamar just throws shit that he's like, I don't know where this belongs. And so he found it underneath maybe one of Lamar's giant feet. I have no idea. Okay. Cynthia and Carson are just too understanding of Todrick. I wrote that in my notes many times because it's ridiculous. Todd was sitting alone in the living room and he was doing an English accent, I guess. Maybe he's preparing for, maybe they're bringing, for maybe he got cast in Bridgerton. They're doing another season. Maybe Downton Abbey is coming back, Downton Abbey, whatever it's called. I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, just randomly, he's sitting there and he goes, why does everyone have a dog? And I was like, Todd Bridges, deep thoughts with Todd Bridges, because they're wonderful, Todd. Okay. Oh my God, I love this. Skodog said, Todrick just went from totally geek to totally chic. Can't buy me love reference. Be still my heart. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then let's see what happens. Todrick goes and tells Misha everything. She's working out, of course. She's like, she works hard for money, elliptical, so hard for it, honey. I gotta punch girls in the face for it, honey. So I better drop away class. So she's just on the elliptical going to town. And then Todrick's like, hey girl, guess what, bitch? And she's like, what, bitch? And he's like, okay, bitch, let me tell you something. This is the wrong screenshot. I apologize, you guys. I'm trying to pull it up here. Okay, so imagine what Todrick does. He just watches her as she works out, and she's just like, pumping weights and stuff. This is not the right screenshot. I don't know if we'll be able to find it. Let's just go on this one because they're in love with each other. Okay. So there's this. So he's up there. He's like, hey girl, what's up, bitch? And she's like, what's up, bitch? And then she's like, you better work, bitch. He's like, you want to stay in the house? She was like, yeah. He's like, you want a Maserati? She's like, yeah. He's like, do you want to be, I don't know. Do you want to come over to my 10,000 square foot house? Yeah. You better work, bitch. You want to meet Tiffany from the cookout? You better work, bitch. You want to model with Azza? You better work, bitch. So he just is, talking to her. And he says, Todrick, I wrote down what Todrick said. Okay. Because Misha, remember, keep in mind that Misha formally said she did not like Shanna. Shayna's not her type of girl, mostly because Shanna uses the word like too much. Okay. And now listen to, I mean, you guys, I was writing down the things they were saying verbatim. Okay. This is Todrick. He says, I was just like, I don't even know. Like, at the end of the day, like, I do realize nobody really stands a chance winning this game if you're in the game. But like, I've been loyal to you this whole time, and I don't really even think there's a world where I can consider that deal. But I don't know if that means that if I tell them that straight up, I'm going to go up on the block. So again, he says to Misha, does this make sense to anybody? This is him trying to kind of dance around what's going on, what he was just told about working with, Shanna, Carson, and Cynthia, and having to maybe leave Misha behind, but yet he could still kind of tell her. And then if she wins the veto, he can go back to her. I mean, he's got a cake deal and he doesn't even know how to explain it to her. He's like, well, I was just like, I don't even know. At the end of the day, like, I do realize nobody really stands a chance winning this game if you're in the game. But like, I've been loyal to you this whole time, and I don't really like even think there's a world where I can like consider that deal. But I don't know if that means that if I tell them that straight up, I'm going to go on the block. Huh? Huh? He says like more than freaking, I mean, Shayna says like a lot as well. But I love that. What's up, Gabor? I love that he was like, I'm saying like now. I love that Misha said, I just don't like her. She says like too much. Oh, Misha, eat some carbs. I need her to have a little bit of candy, a little bit of sugar. Okay. It's like those Snickers commercials. Like you're being crabby. You have a Snickers, and then she'll be so much better. Okay. So then Todrick tells Misha they told Todrick he has to choose their side. But Cynthia said if Misha wins POV, he can go back to working with Misha. Well, Cynthia, aren't you just the best strategic? Cynthia had a shit the bed day. Lamar has literally shart himself, but Cynthia sharted all over everyone's games today. We got Ultimate Girls Trip Cynthia showed up. Soggy Cynthia showed up to, I don't know what she was doing. I was rooting so hard. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I mean, it gave her good feeds for sure, but strategically, Cynthia has no idea what's going on. And she knows that, I think, but she's still willing to go out and talk as though she knows. Like, this is Big Brother. You don't lie in Big Brother. And it's like, no, you do, Cynthia. Well, this is Big Brother. You just, you don't campaign. I don't campaign. I'm not going to beg. Well, you kind of have to do that. Okay. I'm just like, Ultimate Girls Trip Cynthia. I can't right now. I thought maybe the sass, but I don't know if you guys watched Ultimate Girls Trip, but she was just, I mean, they were dragging her along. She was, she just wasn't in on everything that was going on and got mad at Kenya. And it was just kind of ridiculous. And I'm like, no, I want powerful Cynthia to come in and play. Okay. All right. So then Lammy reconfirms that if he plays in the veto and wins, he'll keep noms the same. He told that to Carson. He told that to Shanna and Cynthia. And he said, I'm from the hood. You feel me? And then if Carson tells me to do something, I'm going to do that something. And then he changes the subject because that's Lammy. That's about as much game as Lammy's got. And he goes, I'm hungry. And then Mommy Cynthia says, want some pancakes? And he says, yeah. It's kind of like those commercials. I feel like Lamar's game is very much like, you got Sunny D. Cynthia Bailey's got Sunny D. And someone's got purple stuff, Sunny D, those old commercials from the 90s. And he's so excited, and everyone kind of just takes care of him, and he leans into that. So then Cynthia, so then he tells Cynthia, I'll get the bananas. And she's like, all right, I'm going to get up because I don't lie in this game. I don't strategize. I don't know what's going on, but I do know how to make pancakes with bananas. And Shayna, I'm going to make you ones with chocolate chip. And Shayna's like, that's amazing. So for that, Cynthia, I felt like your strategy was good at first. You cook, you're friendly, you're fun. But then today, again, it's too much. It's too much. You're doing too much. You're pretending to play this game. Just do what you were doing before. And now it's a mess. Okay. So Lammy's about to have some pancakeys, and then let's see. Okay, so Lammy's getting the bananas ready, and Mama Cynthia's like, "You got it." Cynthia said she was talking to Carson, and she said, "See, this is like when the good guys actually win. Like, how happy are you that we never groveled, we never begged, and we never campaigned?" Like, Cynthia, that's not something to be proud of. First of all, you don't have to grovel, you don't have to beg, but you campaigning, like manipulating people into, your way of game playing is not actually a bad thing. But the fact that she's like, I'll go home. I will go all the way home. I will walk home. I will go to the home. We went out, and she says, we went out like, hey, if it's you, fine. If it's me, fine. And then look at how God now it's flipped. And now we're making deals with people, being Todrick, which not a good deal. You don't need him right now. Todrick is in a very vulnerable place with his number one on the block. You can kind of finesse him a little, but he should be finessing you. What does he have to offer? You guys offered him everything, including hugs and pancakes, and he's offered nothing. He gets to keep his game. He gets to go tell Misha what time it is, what's up. It just makes no sense. I liked when they were just not playing versus this kind of playing. Okay. So she's like, now we're making deals with people, deals that we never got. You know, our asses just got put up with no heads up. That's kind of how Big Brother is, especially when you're not aligned with someone. And remember, Misha put you up. So then Carson said, and it may not work for us in the end, and that's okay. And then Cynthia and Carson had a little pinky promise that they did together. And I thought I got a screenshot of that. Not that that's really that important, but just to carry the story along, you guys. They pinky promised each other, which we all know is very serious, right? Cynthia was like, Carson, I don't know how you sit on that wall so long. I have no idea. And he said, I did my thing. It was like when a person has to lift a car off a baby. The analogies this season are amazing. Carson says, it's like when people have to lift a car off a baby, because you know that happens all the time. I get what he's saying. You get this like strength you didn't know you had inside of you when you're like protecting your own, and when you really need it. And then also Carson had that analogy where he was like, oh my God, Mariah, when Mariah was still in the house, he's like, it's not that bad. You know, people are going through stuff right now. Like right now, someone's dog is being eaten by a coyote. What kind of serial killer, sociopath shit is that? Whoever, that is so crazy. Okay. Oh my gosh. Andrew Gabor says, Cynthia has been trending all day. It wouldn't be so bad if she was running around like she solved a cold case. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Cynthia has not won anything, but she is talking like she did. I think she thinks, remember that one time she was in the storage room and she was talking to Chris Kirkpatrick. It was in one of my spoiler videos. I was talking about it. And at one point she goes, oh, POV, can I? Oh, but I'm HOH. And she wasn't HOH. And I was like, why did she just say, I think Cynthia, there's too many gummies. That melatonin is, something's happening. The melatonin and the gummies, they're mixing them. I don't know. And they got wine tonight. So who knows what's happening. Okay. Carson, if you guys were wondering, for his HOH music, he got Madonna bedtime stories and he's been taking a lot of baths and just soaking. He's just a soaking guy. Okay. Shanna said that Misha's really pissed at her because Misha's big mad. Misha didn't get her way. Shanna and Chris Kirkpatrick, you know, they kind of decided to flip the house. And yeah, so Misha's like, I should have known. You should have told me. You should have come up to me and looked at me elliptical machine to elliptical machine and told me. You know, you should have picked up one of my medicine balls and put a diagram down so I could know what was going on, but I didn't know. All right, you know where I'm at. I'm at the gym or I'm eating the worst part of the egg, the whites. Okay. I'm throwing away good yolk. That's always what I'm doing. You should definitely find me. So then around 11:20 a.m., Todd Bridges decides to make another interesting comment. He is staring at the memory wall and he's staring at Chris Kirkpatrick's picture. And he goes, ugh, that dude blew the whole game up. God. And Lamar's like, who? Chris Kirkpatrick? And then Todd Bridges goes, dick. He's really mad at Chris Kirkpatrick for blowing the game up. I was like, Toddy, hot Toddy. Oh my God. It was so silly. It was so silly, but so fun. Now I can't find any of the screenshots I wanted to attach this to. We'll just have this when he found his van and he was walking around with it. And he was like, yes, I got my 7th grade shoes. I am ready, you guys, for some dodgeball. All right. So then Todd asked Lamar, who cooks for you at home, man? Because Lamar's got everyone cooking for him in the house. And Lammy said, whoever I want to see at night. So, you know, I don't understand that. I'll never understand. Ladies, you're going over to get wiener, not to work. Okay. Why are you cooking for dudes you're getting wiener from? You know what I mean? You're giving, it's an equal transaction, wiener for Virginia. But yet you're cooking? I just don't understand that. Why? They order out, take out, go eat with your friends, do something else. And then he said, whoever I see at night, he said, nah, it's Atlanta, bro. I'm going to find a way to eat, because Atlanta has all the hot eats, cool treats. All right. Then Todrick said that Todd Bridges acts like he knows what's going on in the game, but he doesn't. And Todd Bridges was actually mad at Todrick because he took a deal during the HOH. Because Todd Bridges, that's one thing Todrick is right about. Todd Bridges thinks he knows the game. He tries to tell other people, and then he's talking too much. And the person he's explaining stuff to knows already what he's explaining and also knows that he's explaining it incorrectly. So that's how Todd Bridges rolls. But he just, he's like, yep, that's the POV. You play that twice a week, and you get to take two people off the block, and winner gets Lamar's bet. And you get the Kleenex Cottonelle toilet paper if you win a POV with the ribs on it, which is extra clean for your butt. Get your prostate checked, everybody. That's Todd Bridges, but he doesn't really know what he's talking about. And also, it's very common for people to take deals in Big Brother, especially during HOH competition. But Todd Bridges, he doesn't watch the show. He doesn't know. Okay, he has no idea what's going on. He just knows what happened to Tupac. Again, reach out to Todd Bridges, you guys, because he said he knows what happened. All right. And then let's see. Oh, and then Misha with the possible brain injury, which for someone who gets punched in the head, she was making jokes about Todd. She's like, well, he's been hard on his brain, I think. Well, honey, ripping on the drug reference there, you literally get punched in your skull. So TBI much? I don't know. I thought that was really interesting of her to be like, yeah, he's been hard on his brain. Well, so have you. So you are fighting a cage. I can't with some of these people and their commentary on other people's lives. It's like, yeah, he did crack and you get punched in the face. Which is worse? I don't know. I think I'd rather do crack, that's a joke, but I wouldn't do either. But actually, I probably would do crack first. Okay, we're moving on. It's late night. We're having fun. These are jokes. I hope people aren't getting offended because, geez, those comments, I can't. All right. The fact that he thinks he knows everything that's going on, Todrick says, and wants to shed wisdom down on us, what we should do. Again, Todrick with a like count of 1,000,000. He didn't want to leave this house. They're talking about Chris Kirkpatrick. They're like, he did not want to leave this house. Okay. He did not want to leave the house. He didn't even have peace when he left. Cynthia Bailey said, Cynthia Bailey is counting people's peace. She goes, he didn't have peace when he left, which is why he tried it on his way out the door. He played the game completely wrong and he made his choices all by himself and he has to live with them. What is she talking about? And I gave him 20 different outs. Come for me. Let's go. I'll go home. Rally your troops, campaign, do whatever. And guess what? I still wouldn't campaign again because Cynthia Bailey is anti-campaigning in Big Brother. I still wouldn't campaign against him. And do what you're going to do. And I'm still going to sit right in my bed with these braids up on my head and still be the same. Turn the page for dramatic effect person I said I was going to be. I'm not asking nobody for nothing, Cynthia Bailey said, except the people that I've been completely loyal to that would expect me to vote for them. Cynthia Bailey, 2022. So basically, she's mad at Chris Kirkpatrick because he was like, if I got to go, I'll leave to advance this team, whatever. And she was like, okay, but I said I would go. And I said, you don't have to do anything for me. In a way, I get Cynthia's logic because I do think Chris Kirkpatrick has a little bit of this Superman complex. He wants to be the hero. When you're the fourth member of the boy band, no shade, still more successful than I'll ever be in my whole life. But when you're not the star, I think, or maybe you're used to, he did have a lot of shine on him, not as much as Justin or JC or Lance or even Joey sometimes. But, I think, I've been talking about this since the beginning of the show, he's one of those people who's like, I did something nice for you. And he knows what I did for you. That was really nice. It was I fell on a sword. I am very kind. So you might want to mention how kind I am. I'm pretty amazing. I helped you. I know. You don't have to thank me. Thank me. You don't have to thank me. Did you thank me? So he's kind of one of those people. So I get it. Where Cynthia Bill's like, I didn't ask him for anything. I didn't ask him for help. So I get that. But also, like, you're still in the game. Your friend just won HOH. Let him wreck his game if he wants to wreck it, Ralph. So the fact that she was like, he was not at peace with it. Who cares? He's gone now. It doesn't matter. So then Todrick, I think Todrick goes on to say, Cynthia says, it is what it is. He didn't play the game right and he didn't communicate right. The only person he can blame, he can't blame Misha, can't blame me, can't blame you. She looks over at Todrick. I think he blames everyone except himself. And didn't nobody tell him to do anything? I never asked him to do anything. Okay. Yeah, I just think it's very funny that Cynthia is saying he didn't play the game right, and we're still explaining the POV to half the cast at this point. So I would argue no one's playing the game right at this point, and it's entertaining, but no one is playing the game right. So Cynthia goes on to say, so he definitely needs to keep my name out of his mouth. Because I never told that man to do nothing for me. Never once. I never had a meeting. I never had anything with Chris. He's gone, Cynthia. Build a bridge. Burn the friendship contract. It's over. You're still there. Why is she obsessed with Chris? And when is her name in his mouth? He's gone. He's in Nashville. I mean, Cynthia, I don't know what someone needs to give Cynthia a nap, a foot rub, something. Then around 6 p.m., I was watching, and a lot happened before that, but my notes are kind of scattered. So this is after there was a big turn on Shanna. The irony, maybe I shouldn't read that part first because, okay. Let me tell you one thing before I get to what Todrick did. Okay. Todrick's favorite season, and let me know how you guys take this in the chat. Let me know, please, please, please. Okay. I think we can all understand Todrick's gameplay because he let us know some very important information about, thank you, Born Again Universe. You are so right on. You have excellent taste in comedy. He let us know some very valuable information about him. Todrick's favorite seasons of Big Brother are 19 and 16. That screams casual to me. And that also screams problematic, especially 19. 19 was the cult season. 19 was the season where they had to tear people apart personally in order to vote them out of the game. It was when we saw really these players, instead of just being like, I'm voting you up because you're, or I'm putting you up because you are, harmful to my game. It doesn't benefit me. You're hard to beat, all these things. Instead of making it strategic, they painted false narratives on people and tried to make it really personal. Like, I hate them. They're a bad person. So we should vote them out to make themselves feel better. You had Paul and Friendship and the cult and Raven. Remember, she would pick her scabs and eat them sometimes, allegedly. And we had Matt, who just ate cereal, and we had Christmas, who got to leave and come back and have surgery and just shit on the whole game. So it was so telling that, that those were his favorite seasons. And then 16 is, like every casual loves 16. It's kind of seen as the new wave of Big Brother. It's like the next gen Big Brother. I'm sure it starts earlier than that, but we don't really count 15 because holy racism. And then, with 14, you had returning players, which I thought was fun, but went too soon. And then 13, you had returning players. 12 was cool. 11 was good. 10 was amazing. But I think 16 really started this, was, Derek's season that he won, Derek the Cop, and Franzel's introduction. You're so mean. So it's kind of seen as like the newer school Big Brother. Thank you for the super chat. Over Todd's Big Head requesting a palate cleanser. I'll give you a palette cleanser right now. Wait, right now.
And another thing. Okay, girl, bye.
Okay, girl, bye. And another thing, okay? Thank you for the super chat. Okay. So, those are his favorite seasons. And he talked a lot about his best friend, Frankie Grande, and he was explaining to everyone about Frankie's big moment where they turned on him, and Caleb was like, I'm not going to play in this comp with Frankie. And then Frankie was still able to win it. He was in it to win it. But didn't Zach, I mean, not that we can totally trust him, but Rancy Fancy Pants with the pink hat, didn't he say that was kind of set up for Frankie to win or something? I don't know. And then Todrick went on to say, and Caleb was so hot. Caleb? Oh my God. Okay. So at 12:28 p.m., everything we ever believed in life was destroyed. The entire Big Brother galaxy, the Celebrity Big Brother 3 galaxy, was blown up. It was nuked by Mr. Todrick Hall when he pulled Cynthia aside at 12:28 p.m. Pacific to the bathroom. And he did a Shanna exposed party. The only problem was his Shanna exposed party included a lot of things that weren't true, which totally fine. In Big Brother, you can lie on people's games. You could say, she said this when really you said that, which was a lot of what he did. A lot of it was Shayna's playing both sides. Shayna's the real reason. Shayna's the enemy. He took a very Paul approach to it, where target her integrity, target her character, and make her out to be a bad person. And that's where it crossed the line. Let me see if I can get Todd off the screen. Sorry, I know you want a palette cleanser. You said you're sick of them, and I was supposed to move it, and then I didn't, and I apologize. So we'll go to Cynthia rolling her eyes, okay? So they're in the bathroom, and Todrick's, I just have to get this off my chest. I have to tell you, Cynthia, and I'm so glad you're here. And she's like, I'm here, Todrick. I'm ready to believe anything you say, for sure. Even though you've done nothing for me in this game, you're working with someone who I don't enjoy and have said I don't enjoy. But now later in the day, I might enjoy her. So please go ahead, Todrick. And Todrick's like, okay, I will go ahead. She is just as much of a snake as Chris Kirkpatrick. Okay. And I'm just saying, game recognized game. Okay. She said Carson won't even talk to her at one point. And she was the reason. She was the one that was like, we got to go after Carson. I was like, oh my God, I love Carson. He's fantastic. Shayna, don't make me. And then she held me down on the bed and she gave me noogies and wet willies and said, you better do what I say, bitch. And she held up her fist, and she's very strong. She's been on reality TV. And then one of her boobs hit me in the face and I almost bled. So it was just so ridiculous. Todrick's thing was so ridiculous. He basically is just like, she's playing both sides. She's a snake like Chris Kirkpatrick. She's the reason for the season. And, you know, she's been lying to you. She was working with us. We had a Final Four with her, and she's just flipping around to who has the power. And she said Carson is the biggest threat, and she was cheering us on to go after him. And he said, you know, she was ready to vote out anyone that would help get herself with her strategy, or help get herself with her strategy, I think he said. Oh, wait, no, he said, okay. He said, Carson was the biggest threat. That's what he said, Shayna said. And that Shayna was ready to vote out anyone that would help get herself with her strategy that she's used in her life long before this game. What is that strategy, Todrick? What is that strategy? And how do you know? How well do you know Miss Shayna Moakler that you're just saying outside of her life she uses this same strategy? So then he says, you guys need to know that she's been in a very comfortable position. And I think that's how she makes her way and moves and navigates in the outside world. Todrick has been painting the picture of Shayna that she is somehow not talented, okay? That she has no skills, I'll get to those quotes, that she basically just married for money, and that's what she did, totally forgetting that you started on YouTube like us losers, okay? She was Miss US freaking A. That's a big deal. Okay, can someone tag Kenya Moore in Todrick Hall defaming Miss USA? And that because Lamar even brought up, like, well, she was Miss USA. He's like, yeah, but that doesn't make any money. That doesn't do anything. That actually does a lot. If you are Miss USA, do you know how hard those women have to work to get to that point? Oh my gosh. I am Game of Thrones tonight. Thank you. It is very late, and this is my therapy blanket. No, I don't know what it is. I just kind of liked it. It felt right. You know, I'm from the Midwest. It felt right. Okay. So Todrick has just been going on. Now, this is a smear campaign. He said Chris Kirkpatrick saying he was untrustworthy was a smear campaign. That's not a smear campaign. Okay. A smear campaign is when you are literally smearing someone's character. I mean, going above and beyond, saying someone's distrustful in a game that is based on people want to be seen kind of as trustful and you want to put salt in their game, that's fine. But he was taking it to the next level to say that she makes her way and she navigates the same way in the outside world. And Cynthia didn't even check him. There was slut shaming. There was all the shaming going on. Okay. We'll get to that. And then, so Todrick has made, his strategies have been to, the amount of times, and Chris Kirkpatrick, outside of the house, I think did an interview with 2Fab, or maybe 2Fab picked it up. I'm not sure. But he was saying something because Todrick was really trying to push this. If you are against him, you are a hateful, bigoted person. You know, if your gameplay and strategy doesn't align with him, you're a bigot. You know, oh, you want Mariah to go? You hate Asian women. Oh, you want, you know, I don't know. You want freaking, I'm trying to think of someone else who went, oh, you want Teddy to stay? You love rich, white, entitled, privileged chicks or something. I don't know. It was just like so nuts, especially coming off a season like BB23 where we actually had a wonderful thing happen. We were able to see the first Black winner, and you had the cookout, which did something that no other alliance was able to do. And now I feel like Todrick's just kind of, in a way, there's just something real grimy about what he's doing in order to get farther in this game. It's very grimy. Okay. So he is painting this picture now because Cynthia told him that Shanna said that Todrick did not want to sit next to a Black woman in Final 2 because previously on Celebrity Big Brother, Tamar Braxton won and she is a Black woman. And I don't ever remember Shanna saying this. This could be when one of the feeds were down a million times, but this is Cynthia regurgitating. And how do we trust Cynthia with this? I mean, she does not understand the game. Okay. I have no idea. But so Todrick said, I would be happy sitting next to in 2022 a Black woman and a gay, but I don't personally feel like that's what she stands for, Shanna. Oh, so now she's a racist and a homophobe, you guys, without ever doing anything racist or homophobic that we've seen. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? About anybody. And I'd be the first person to call that shit out as far as like, you know, on YouTube because not cool. But I haven't heard her at all. If anything, she was like, why is Todrick acting like this? I really liked him outside of the house. Why is he being like this? And Shanna has her flaws, but I do not know her to be any of this. Okay. So he said, but I don't personally feel like that's what she stands for as a human being. What are you doing, dude? This is Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, no less. You're doing too much. It's grimy. Okay. And how she's played this, and when she's in the room and y'all are sitting there talking to me, I was fuming. You can salt her game, you can blow up her game, you can lie on her game, but to act as though she wouldn't want to see that. Todrick, I would like to remind you, who did you pick to work with? Not the other gay guy, not any of the other people of color. You've picked to work with Misha. Maybe you want to do a little Google search. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe you want to just look into, no shade on Misha, but she's, I don't even know because I don't know too much about Misha, but you chose to work with the white lady. And when you were talking to Chris Kirkpatrick on the feeds a couple days ago, you were shitting on all the other people of color in the house. And you said you were the only person of color actually gaming and strategizing. You said Cynthia's just baking her way through, doesn't know what she's doing. Lamar's farting his way through. And I can't remember what you said about Todd, but you only legitimized yourself and your gameplay. So to me, that was like, what? You could have chosen Todrick. If that's what you wanted to see in the world, you could have been like the cookout. You could have worked with Cynthia. You knew her. You could have worked with Carson. You knew him, but you chose not to. It's just projection 101. It's just getting gross. And I still want to like Todrick. I'm just struggling. Okay. He told Cynthia, Shayna asked me to go talk to Misha to bring her to the other side. I've never lied this entire game. I've been honest. I'm telling you right now, when you walk out of this house, he keeps saying that. You're going to see the footage. We have to stop with the footage thing, Todrick. It's not working for you. He keeps saying it and saying it and saying it to the point of other people are picking up on it. And there's a couple people in the house that are doing similar. They have similar kind of Big Brother tropes or cliches that they say. Once you look at the footage, you'll see, and it's like, the more you say that, the more it's weird. So he says, you're going to see some footage of this bitch and you're going to be like, I'm gagged. I am gagged because Todrick is lying and unnecessary lies. Like some of this stuff is just unnecessary. So Chris Kirkpatrick said that Chris Kirkpatrick told him about Shayna's comments about his 10,000 square foot house and the Wicked Witch of the West hat that he wanted to purchase. Now, here's the thing. Another strategy Todrick tried to use was, I need this money more than anybody. And he started that real early in the game. I need this money. I need this money. I need this money. And he said it to Teddy. And he said it to Shayna, and he said to Chris Kirkpatrick, and he just kept saying it. But then in the next breath, he'd be like, oh my God, you guys have to come to my house. It's 10,000 square feet. I don't know if any of you watch Housewives, but Dana from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she now has her own podcast and stuff, but she did this thing when she was a housewife, like a one and done season. She was a one hit wonder, and she had these sunglasses, and she was like, $25,000 sunglasses, $25,000. And that's what I think of every time Todrick's talking about his 10,000 square foot house. So as he's talking about needing all this money, he's literally then saying, I have a 10,000 square foot house, and I almost spent $250,000 on the original hat of the Wicked Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz. So if he had never brought that up, no one would be counting his coins. They wouldn't. But he brought it up. So if you're trying to go on the impoverished route strategy, I really need this. I really need this. But then you're so flippant with money and you say, I have a whole Wizard of Oz room where I collect things. Nobody's going to believe you really need this money more than anyone else. You're just another celebrity who could use a little extra cash. So that's what they're saying. They're not saying you can't have any of this, because then Todrick takes this information, flips the narrative, and says, oh, I can't believe that I worked hard for this. I came from nothing, or I did, it's just that story that people do when they get defensive about their money and stuff. But you're the one talking about your money. Then don't talk about your money. Don't talk about it. And then tell us all the things you're going to buy. And then no one will question it. It's grimy. It's gross. Okay. Thank you, Nene Girl, for the super chat. I can't believe even Carson was drinking Todrick Kool-Aid and believing him. Cynthia thinks she'll be the next HOA. And Cynthia is going to be the head of the HOA. She's going to be walking around with her clipboard, going, paint that, cut that. That's what she'll be doing. Okay. But it will not be in this house with what she's currently doing. And I like Cynthia, but this is cuckoo bananas. Okay. All right. So Todrick isn't done. So he, is talking about that. And then he says, she mentioned getting Carson out to me. And I was like, oh, Carson, not Carson. I know, you stand for what's right. And that ain't right, to Cynthia. And Cynthia's like, I do stand for what's right. I very often, people on my cast are like, Cynthia is standing for something none of the other people are. I stood for having my over-the-top wedding during a panakuchen, during a pandemic, okay, when it was dangerous. I don't even think there were vaxxes yet, but yeah, I stood for that. I did. So I do. but I fall for a lot too. I fall for a lot. So then Lamar enters as, this Shayna Moakler exposed party's going on between Cynthia and Todrick. And Cynthia goes, Lamar, because now she's SVU, she's a detective. She goes, Lamar, can I ask you a character question? And Lamar's like, Disney character? No, he didn't say that, but he was like, okay, what? She goes, do you think Shayna is trustworthy? And do you like how she's playing this game? And Lamar had a long pause. Okay. And he said, I would say flip. I think he meant to say flippant, but he said it sounded like flip it. I don't know. It was kind of, I couldn't understand. Something with Lamar's mic. I think sometimes he's like sitting on it. I don't know. He loses his mic. Who knows with Lamar? And then he goes on to say, it's about the little things people do. His grandma told him that. And I think that's good advice. And it tells you a lot about who they are. But then he uses the example of, on Shayna's dresser, she's got this man, being Chris Kirkpatrick's, picture of his family on her dresser. And he said, what the fuck would make you keep it? And they're just like, Todrick said, okay, we don't want to talk about that right now, Lamar. You're like getting totally off topic. We only have a limited amount of time for me to continue my lying spree about Shayna. Don't you think she's a bad person? Anywho, do you trust her? And Lamar goes, no. And then he confirms, they were like, well, whose side do you think she's on? Do you think she's on Carson's or Misha's? And I think Todrick wanted her to say Misha. And he goes, well, Carson's side this whole time. That's easy for me. They're like, well, how do you know that? He's like, well, it's easy for me to see. And he goes, Carson and her have a blonde brunette thing going on. I'm like, I have no idea what that meant. Both of them are blonde, aren't they? I don't know. I think they're both blonde, but he just said they have a blonde brunette thing going on. And it's like, okay, Lammy, thank you, lambs. But then he brought up again, he was like, seriously, Shayna has a picture of Chris Kirkpatrick's family on her dresser. Who does that? I mean, you would give it back. That's what you would do. And then I think Cynthia might have agreed on that. But here's the thing with the picture. Chris Kirkpatrick's weird self gave that to her and was like, I'm going to give you something. And she's like, cash? And he goes, no, a picture of me, my kid, and my wife, who you've never met. It'll make you feel better. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. When someone gives you something you don't want, or you can tell it's obviously a regift, or they just like wrap up garbage and you're like, it's what I always wanted. Thank you. I'll take such good care of this. So she took it because she's trying not to be a dick. I mean, he was like, I want you to have this. You're my best friend in the whole wide world. You're going to come to Nashville and we're going to party in Double Wide. There's a bar that's a double wide. So it's not her. It's like she was like, hey, Chris Kirkpatrick, I'm going to be creepy. Can I have a picture of your wife and your kid and you so I can stare at it at night? She's not like that. He gave it to her. And what do you say? Like, what is she supposed to say? He's like, this is, ew, no, gross, yuck, ew, not your wife. Ugh, is that your kid? No, yuck. What do you say? You go, thank you. And then you just put it there to be nice. It was a weird thing Chris Kirkpatrick did, but she didn't want it. So Lammy's just like, that's weird. And I think it's because he's a little peanut butter and jelly. I think he wishes it was a picture of him or something. I don't know. So Todrick is just trying to convince them that Misha has been protecting Shayna this whole time. Misha's not been protecting Shayna one bit. Misha's goal has been to get Carson up and on the block and get him gone. Misha and Todrick are obsessed with getting Carson gone because they're just like, he's so likable, he's so lovable, he's so sweet, he's so funny, he's so this, he's so that, and all those things are true. So yeah, but she hasn't protected Shayna. Shayna saved her. Shayna won 2 POVs. Even if she did put her on the block, Shayna would have pulled herself off. She's won the most POVs of the season. So the fact that they think that this woman who clearly is capable of saving herself, that they somehow saved her when she wasn't even on their radar at the time, they were trying to get Carson on, is preposterous. It's preposterous, you guys. Okay. And then this is when Todrick's like, she's on Shayna's side. Okay. She don't give a fuck. Todrick then was about to say something and he said, on my mother's life. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And then someone interrupted him. I was like, thank God. Don't swear on your family members. It's weird. It's weird. It's a little weird. Sometimes I don't care, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Okay. And then Misha said to me, Lammy was saying, well, Misha said to me, I don't know if they're that close because Lammy was not picking up what they were dropping down. He's like, Misha said to me, if Shanna wins, she'll burn this house down. I was like, oh my gosh. Holy buckets, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. I love it. She's going to burn down the house. Okay. So Lammy says that. And then they were like, well, why do you think she said that? Because they were working together. That was Todrick. And she turned on her and she took Carson off the block. And Lammy's just like, okay, well, I don't know. And then he talked about the pictures again. Okay. Then Misha joins the convo because she was done punching stuff. So she was like, after I punch stuff and take the yolk out, all the fun out of the food, I come in here and I take the fun out of the room. It's jokes, but she's very serious. She's very serious, but she has been smiling more. Okay. So Misha Tate enters the room. And let me see if I can switch up screenshots so we can just, maybe we'll just go to what usually, again, this is what we see all the time. We'll be right back. Okay. Misha joins the convo. Cynthia's talking about character. And she lost trust when she flipped on Teddy. And I'm thinking, but so did Todrick. The whole reason the formation didn't work is because Todrick didn't trust Teddy and didn't want to work with Teddy and wanted to work with Misha. So the fact that Cynthia's like, oh, you're right. You're so right, Todrick. Shanna, yeah, she didn't vote Teddy to stay. Yeah, the numbers weren't there. And Todrick and them were like, he broke out of what was the point? He broke out of the alliance. So the person you're sitting right there with, commiserating with, is the reason your friend Teddy in this alliance did not work. It's craziness. And then Misha says, well, there is a reason why nobody really took her in. They never really gave her a final two because Shayna's mistake is that she keeps saying, I have no one in this game. Well, Shanna, you were with Chris Kirkpatrick all the time. Even when you didn't want to be, he was there. He was always there, like Allstate. He just showed up constantly. And you were like, I need private time. And he was like, I'll come with you. And she's like, I literally have to poop. I need private time. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll just wait outside. Are you okay? So I think she keeps saying this. And then for these players who are not well-versed in Big Brother, they're like, well, if she lied about that, what else is she lying about? So she should have just said, yeah, me and Chris, we were close. But she could have at least acknowledged it. But the fact that she was like, no, he was just like my friend, but they were always together. You're clearly talking game. I wish she would have acknowledged that more because then that perpetuated this. Shayna's an awful liar and she's done nothing with her life besides become Miss USA, be on popular television show, and then be on a okay popular television show, and then have beautiful children and hook up with Oscar De La Hoya, which, I mean, is he I don't know anything about his personal life, but he seemed to be hot. So I don't know. Okay. So Cynthia talking about character. She's just, oh God, to Todrick. Like Todrick has any place to talk. Okay. And Misha, there's a reason why nobody wanted to make a final two with her. And then Cynthia to Misha says, I was like, I'm going for Misha. She's the biggest threat in the house. Okay. See, I'm so honest. And then the I have no one strategy I wrote down backfired on Shanna. Cynthia says, tells Misha, and she does say, I keep trying to talk to her, being Misha. So this is Cynthia. She says that Shanna tells her that she keeps trying to talk to Misha and she doesn't give Shanna anything. And then Cynthia says, but I've made it very clear that Misha's lovely to me. I actually love her as a person. When did you say that? When did you say that? I know that on the feed, some of you guys did say, you have said after, saying this person needs to go, or I don't like this person, you said, I'm sure they're fine in the real world. But Cynthia, if we're going to play this integrity honesty game, and I don't think you should play it because you don't have to. It's Big Brother. But if you're going to call other people out for this, you sat in there and kikied and talked shit with Shanna about Misha all the time. Misha didn't make you guys a hamburger. You were big mad. Misha just cares about the boys. You're big mad. Misha won't let you use her bathroom. Big mad. She would, but she doesn't make it very comfortable in her room. You're big mad. Misha doesn't clean up after herself. You're big mad. Misha is kind of bringing, like Cynthia said, I would rather keep Mariah. I would get rid of Misha because she brings this house down and I want to have fun and I want to drink and I want to get to know people. And she's just a bummer and she's not fun and she's not that nice. But now when she gets to talk about character and lies, she's telling Misha, I mean, Shanna said horrible things about you. Horrible, you know. And then Todrick said very racist things. No, he didn't. Misha's like, I'm white, which I don't know if Misha is, but I feel like Todrick would go in and be like, and racist and hateful and possibly homophobic. I know you're straight, Misha, but it was still very homophobic against you. Okay. And then Cynthia just said, I've made it very clear that Misha's been lovely to me. Cynthia, you said she doesn't even try to talk to you. And that she's a total bummer. Paraphrasing, but you did say that. You didn't enjoy her. And that you love her as a person. Cynthia, you're hanging out with Mike Hill too much. These are not the truths. These are not the truths, okay? And if it's fine, it'd be fine if she said this stuff if it, you know, if she wasn't playing this like, I'm so honest, integrity, and getting mad at Shanna for that. Okay. So then Misha goes on to say, Shanna is a snake in this game. I refuse to let her win. And then Todrick said, I just blew up her game, honey. And then we've all worked hard to get here. What has she done? Todrick says. This is where Todrick really starts being gross. We've all worked hard to get here. What has she done? Married famous people? And then Lammy says, well, she won Miss America. And Todrick says, great. You can't make a living off that. There's no money involved. And then they bring up Vanessa Williams and they bring up a bunch of people and like she became an actor. And then Todrick's like, oh, she wants to be an actress? Right. She needs to get her ass on a, or no, Lamar said she needs to get her ass on a casting couch. I was like, Lammy. Oh my God. Harvey Weinstein jokes. Come on, sir. Oh my God, Lammy. And then Todrick went on to say, did you see her hosting the competitions? Is that someone you'd hire to be in your movie? If you can't read a 4-paragraph script, acting ain't for you, honey. You're not an actress. Oh God, Toddy, hot Toddy, you are just very, oh my God, like it's crazy. So there is a conversation that is had. So now Cynthia is all in. Yeah, it sounds a little peanut butter and jelly because Todrick's always talking about I want to be married, I want to have kids. Well, Shanna was married. Shanna does have kids. So maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to be freaking, I was ready to be like, Todrick, you're great. But this is bringing out a real bad side of him. This is bringing a real bad side. Okay. So let's see. Todrick is very happy that he's jumping up and down, hugging Misha, that they're exposing her. Then around 2:03, Carson talks to Shanna in the gym. And Shayna's like, what is going on? Like, seriously, what is happening? They're lying to you. They're trying to come in between us. What are you talking about? Why am I public enemy number one? And then Carson's like, I just want to get another monogrammed robe. Can you come with me to the HOH room? There's Cynthia. And Cynthia is just sitting there. And I'm like, Cynthia, she just does not know what's going on in this game. Cynthia's like, and you wanted to put Carson up and, you know, you didn't tell us this and you went back and forth and you were playing all the sides. And Shayna's like, you guys, listen to yourself. I literally took Carson off the block. You want to partner up with Misha And Todrick, because now Cynthia is like, Misha's the most trustworthy. She would never lie to us. She would never hurt us. She wants us to go far in this game. Like, I believe her, Carson. It switched like this. It took Todrick barely anything to switch Cynthia. Cynthia is so gullible at this point. It's embarrassing. Can someone call Noelle, her daughter, and get her to send in a secret note to wake her up? Can she yell over the fence to the CBS studios? Because this is embarrassing. Worse than I could have. And Cynthia was, I mean, it's entertaining to a point, but then it's like, this is embarrassing. So Sheena's like, you guys, listen to yourselves for a second. Misha put you both on the block. She's been targeting you for day one. I, when given the chance, used my power, the power of veto, to remove Carson, and then Chris Kirkpatrick, who you hate so much and said should keep his name out of your mouth, put himself on the block, basically. Well, also because he had really shitty conversations with Misha, and he was like, I cannot tell a lie. I've done everything in this game for you, because that was a whole weird situation we talked about last night. But, you know, Shayna was like, fine, you got to go. Bye, 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 Chris Kirkpatrick. See you later. You're gone, you know? And even freaking Cynthia's using that against her. Well, you didn't really seem to care that. What? Why is she supposed to care and stop him? So Shayna took Carson off. Then Chris ends up going home. So both Cynthia and Carson were safe because of the move Shayna made, and because her and Chris Kirkpatrick were willing to flip the house and take the risk, take a chance, and break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. And Cynthia goes, nah. Whoa, Cynthia, what are you talking about? Now you're just going by hearsay when you have actual proof in front of you, receipts, being Shayna Moakler, who she loyal to. She put the line in the sand when she pulled Carson off, because Misha did not want Carson gone. So now you're going to believe Misha and that you can do a Final Four with them because somehow you think Shayna had a Final Four with Chris Kirkpatrick, even though Shayna told you guys, and she said, I told you guys what was going on. I told you I was going to talk to Misha about this. I told you that I was going to do the POV. Everything I said to them, I'd come back and tell you in the bedroom. And this, I mean, Shayna was just in the HOH, and Cynthia, then they started yelling at each other when they were going down the steps from this, because Cynthia's like, all right, well, you know what? Todd Bridges and Lamar both said that they think, you know, you talked game with them, and they agreed on this. First of all, Lamar didn't agree on this. Lamar said he could tell her character because she has a picture of Chris Kirkpatrick's family. And Todd Bridges, wow, Todd Bridges he didn't talk game with her. He doesn't know. Todd Bridges is just regurgitating what Misha says. He just wants more screen time in his vans. You know, he's just trying to have a good old time. He likes, you know, talking about his prostate and when his wiener works and joking with Lamar. And that's it. And occasionally, you know, getting in a fight with Cynthia. But other than that, yeah. So Cynthia's like, well, then you need to go downstairs and tell them that you didn't have a Final Four and you didn't have this. And she's like, Shayna's like, I've never even talked game with Lamar and Todd Bridges, which she has talked a little game with Lamar and tried to get stuff out of him. Everybody talks game with everyone, but not in the way that they're saying like she had some like nefarious, you know, reasons for doing it, which no, it's just the normal. She was like, you guys understand this is how the game is played. I have to kind of finesse a little bit over here to bring you information over here. But ultimately, clearly I want to work with you because I used my power against the HOH, who you're now believing, who put you on the block, who wanted me not to use the power. But I did to save you. And Cynthia's like, well, go downstairs and tell them. And Shayna's like, I'm not going to go downstairs and get in a screaming match with Misha, who I don't even respect that woman. And then she's like, well, say something, do something. So then they go downstairs and they're kind of yelling back and forth at each other. And I'm just like, oh, Cynthia, this is probably Cynthia's least entertaining fight at this point. So then they go downstairs and she was like, Lamar, Todd, have I ever talked game with you? I've never talked game with you. It didn't happen. And Lamar's like, wow, I don't know. Do you still got Chris Kirkpatrick's picture up? Creepy. That's creepy. My grandma says it's creepy. So you are creepy. And then Todd Bridges just, he doesn't know. He just doesn't know. Toddy doesn't know. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this was something interesting so Shanna goes to her room. Shayna's then isolated for most of the day. They're icing her out. It's very BB19. It's gross because there's no reason for it. And now all of a sudden Shayna's playing solitaire. Someone's game isn't going well when they're playing solitaire. And let's just say Todrick has been playing solitaire a lot. And Misha yesterday was playing angry solitaire with her sunglasses on, just flipping down cards, And so, okay, so let's get to this part. So poor freaking Shanna Moakler at this point, because she was trying to help them, like her game isn't perfect, but in this regard, she was definitely trying to freaking help them. So then Shayna's laying in bed. She's eating M&Ms. She vaped for a little bit outside. She was alone, putting her feet in the hot tub. She was listening to the cars pass by, just trying to process the cuckoo banana stuff. That was going on. Petty with the pistol said, Todd Bridges literally said, I was told that Shanna was with us, not Shanna talking with me. Exactly. So if he just heard from Misha, he just regurgitates what she says. It's so ridiculous, you guys. Okay. I'm more tired than Todd Bridges. All right. So then Shayna's laying in bed and she notices that the camera's on her and it's moving. And I'll give Shanna this. Lamar's like, she's going to leave. She's going to self-evict. She handled it pretty well. Like at one point she was like, I'm fine. Like she's a tough chick. And Cynthia Bailey's like, she's not going to self-evict. She's been through worse in her life. She's got her. I'm like, what, Cynthia? Did you read her autobiography? How does Cynthia know anything about? She barely knows about her own cast members on Roa. I don't know what is going on with Cynthia. I need you to come back, Cynthia. I'm not enjoying this at all. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. So then Shayna is laying in bed and she looks up at the camera and she starts talking to her boyfriend, Matthew. She says, Matthew, I love you. If you can see this, I love you and I can't wait to get home to you. And I love you, kiddos, to her kids. And it was awkward because I don't know if you guys heard, but Shayna's freaking boyfriend, let's pull his ass up here. On TMZ, Teddy has this podcast that some people listen to, allegedly. That is 2 T's in a Pod, I think, with Tamra Judge, formerly of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Okay. And they have a podcast. And allegedly, she said that Shanna Moakler's boyfriend, this model guy who looks like a block of cheddar cheese, hit her up in the DM. She made a joke on the podcast about, this is interesting. Oh, wait, no, that's not interesting. Okay, never mind. Made a joke on the podcast about, because this is something else that Cynthia got mad about. Shanna, she voted Teddy, didn't vote Teddy to stay, voted her out. And she was wearing Teddy's beanie or something. And Cynthia's like, how dare she? How dare she? It's like, it's a beanie. Teddy Mellencamp is rich. Buy another beanie. Who cares? You guys made a shrine to her. So apparently she made a joke about that. And then allegedly, according to Teddy Mellencamp, Shayna's boyfriend hit her up in the DMs and said, you're never getting that back. And then allegedly, according to Teddy Mellencamp, said something mean about Shanna, but didn't say what it was. It's like, well, then don't say anything if you're not going to tell us. So this is the boyfriend, right? So we heard that story. And then we heard that he thinks, this is all TMZ's reporting it, Page 6, just all the best of the best in journalism, the Walter Cronkites, the Gayle King of journalism, was reporting that he unfollowed her on social media because sources, this is what they're doing, sources are saying that he feels that she is flirting with Lammy. And in the house, it was very gross. Cynthia and Misha and Todrick were basically slut-shaming Cynthia, not as much, but definitely Todrick. Shanna and what she wears and her like having kind of her cleavage show. And Misha was saying, yeah, she shakes it, or, she like kind of shows it off and flirts with the guys and kind of gets them to do what she wants, which, Misha, you're the one that has the men eating out of your hands. You're the one. Todrick jumped up on her multiple times. She was holding him. He was kissing her all over the cheeks and stuff. And they blamed Shanna. They were like, and she shouldn't be letting Lamar call her strawberry shortcake if she has a man. That was Misha. And then Cynthia's like, yeah, I feel like I have to cover up more. I'm like, I'm a married woman. Cynthia, we've watched you on TV for many seasons. I have seen more of your breasts, more of your body than I've seen of Shayna Moakler, I think, and she's been in Playboy, and I never saw her Playboy, so I'm sure then that would mean more. But give me a break. This gives me Lisa Rinna when she was like, oh my God, Erica Jane is a pop star and does songs about sex. Yeah, what do you think? Every pop song is about sex. Every song is about sex, basically, okay? I smell sex and candy, all right? But it's like, she doesn't dress risque. She does have like her hoodie and she's got cleave. And she did have her jammies the other day and she had a couple buttons undone, but I don't know, maybe that's comfy. Maybe she's hot. As you get older, as women, you get sweaty cleave. Maybe she's got to air it out. Maybe that's how she wears it. Who cares? She's not trying to hump anyone. She's not jumping anyone. As far as I've seen, I did predict early on that I thought Lamar and Shanna were going to hook up. This was my early prediction, just because I just had this feeling. So I don't know. Maybe her boyfriend is watching my show. Don't watch it. I'm just like seeing stuff that I wish would happen for funsies. But so this cheddar cheese guy unfollowed her, and I looked and he did, and she unfollowed him, and he removed all the pictures because I was cyber stalking these two, once the cast list dropped, and seeing like, oh, who's her boyfriend? What's going on? She didn't remove his pictures, but they both unfollowed each other. I was just like, what? Oh my, sir, wait till the game's over at least. Are you, talk about thirsty, trying to get a little bit of relevancy. Oh my gosh. And poor Shayna, she's in there and she's just like, love you, Matthew. You're the best. I love Matthew. She said nothing but nice things about her guy.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
When you get home, this model guy might, not be there for you, but better for you if. So Shayna's had the worst day. The worst day. It went from Carson. I took him off the block. I made a big move. We're flipping the house. Carson won HOH. We're working together. We're in the bedroom together. We have fun together. To Shayna's a slut, and how dare she look nice, and how dare she play the game, and she's also probably a bigot. And I'm just like, this is just so disappointing. It's so disappointing, you guys. Okay. So this guy, I know you're a fan of the show. What's the guy's name? Let's see if we can find him. Matthew Rondo. Okay. This is the best it's going to get for you, bro. All right. Don't be weird. Wait till she gets out and talk to her. It's not Shayna's fault if a dude has a nickname for her. And the fact that women are perpetuating this, like, she should put a stop to that. Strawberry shortcake? When was strawberry shortcake boner inducing? She was a little doll. You'd scratch and smell her. She had more clothes on than Cynthia Bailey and Shayna Moakler have ever worn in their life. I don't know why? This is so ridiculous. So this guy, oh God. This guy, Mr. Underoonies, okay? This was a little weird, okay? It's a little weird, all right? Yeah, and I wish Todrick would just cool this shit down. I don't know what he is thinking. Thank you, Janet, for saying hit the like. I do not know what he was thinking. And yeah, with Misha is wearing, like Rawan saying in the chat, Misha, you got a cold shoulder every day. You're wearing them damn cold shoulder WWE tops. You cannot be talking about people's fashion. Women, stop commenting on other women's saying that they look like sluts and stuff. Don't do it. some problematic dudes are already going to do it to us. Don't do it to each other. Shanna, it's not her job to stop Lamar from freaking having a nickname for her. And apparently she was putting a mask on him or something. And they were making jokes about like, oh, it's better when it's wetter. If you're that fragile that you think that's a reason to break up with someone, then good riddance. Then I don't know, probably best for Shayna Milker. I'm not in your business, Shayna, but you should check this dude because he seems very problematic. But it was just disheartening to hear them talk about what Shayna wears and stuff. It just gets so personal. It's a game. It's a silly game called Big Brother. It's so silly. Talk about her game. Say she's a liar. Say she making checks her ass can't cash. Her mouth's writing checks her ass can't cash. I don't know. I'm getting tired. Sorry, guys. But it's a game. And Cynthia, you're a housewife. Housewives are known for wearing like pretty sexy outfits and dresses. And why are we hating on cleavage? Cleavage is amazing and beautiful. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. She's not even putting her cleavage in anyone's face. She's not trying to take anyone's husband. She's just letting her tots air out. Maybe she's got sweaty tots. Cynthia, you keep telling everyone in the house you're going through the change. You know about sweaty tots. Us women, we got to go through a lot. Oh my gosh. Well, now that she's a wife, I'm just like Cynthia, and it's the second time. I don't understand how these people, sometimes like women especially, and guys too, will all of a sudden now, oh, I'm married. So now it's a whole different game. You have to honor whatever. It's like, but this is like, have grace for others and they'll have grace for you. This is your second marriage. And before that, you were with that hottie with a body and you had your beautiful daughter. Would you like someone talking about that? I mean, it's just, I don't know, just to this like self-righteous, like, oh, I just didn't expect that from Cynthia. So maybe it's just the house making her cuckoo crazy. And hopefully she'll wake up from this on a positive note. Okay. On a positive note, they did get wine at the end of the night. And Shayna, I'll tell you, I would have just been like this the whole time. Like let me put this up. I realized I'm not sharing this with you because I got this guy in his underpants up here. Okay. Let me put this picture up. I would have literally been this Shayna all day. If it was me going through this, it'd be very hard to have the whole house kind of against you, making up lies after you just helped out the very people who are now helping attack you. But instead, she got up, she looked up, did her little crystal thing moving around. I mean, she's got some boobs hanging out, but she's in bed. She's in her room. She's a beautiful lady. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see a problem with a little bit of boobs, little bit of boobies hanging out. She ended up going upstairs to have a little bit of wine with Carson. And Carson was, as much as he's definitely following into the listening to Cynthia and listening to Todrick and listening to Misha and going, oh, wow, yeah. He was like, let's have some wine. It's nothing personal. And then Cynthia agreed and was like, yeah, we don't want you to feel isolated, which I was like, thank you, because I hate watching seasons of Big Brother where they just ice people out. It's just not fun to watch someone be literally miserable. And it's just a game, especially when it's not like Sheena said something horrible or like Todrick said, let a coyote eat your dog, Now Todrick and Misha haven't given that grace to Shayna, but it was nice to see these two, Carson and Cynthia, do that, especially since Shayna has helped you with your game more than Todrick and Misha have. And then toward the end of the night, Shayna didn't stay too long in the room. And then Lamar came up and he had a little bit of vino and everyone seemed a lot more chill. And then Cynthia was real chill and she went to sleepy, but, and she went to sleep in the room because she had said earlier, like, I don't even know if I could sleep in that room with Shayna. Really? The lady who's pretty much the reason you're still here? You can't sleep next to her, the one you kiki and have a good time with and laugh and talk shit about Misha with. You can't with her anymore because now we're fans of Misha. Also, I don't know if Misha will like all the things you said. I don't know. We'll see. Like Todrick said, wait till you see the footage. And then at one point toward the end of the night, right before they went to bed, that is when Carson told Shayna, maybe there's a way to get back on track. And I was like, please, God Almighty, can you seriously, someone go yell over that damn wall. Do something. We need the wall yeller back because this is so crazy. This is so crazy. Yeah, she's in loungewear. They act like Shanna walk. Exactly. She's literally wearing like sets, like a hoodie, and she just has it undone a little bit. I mean, why? It's just so gross to me that they are overly sexualizing her body as if she's doing something wrong when the dudes can walk around shirtless, you know. I mean, I just think I'm just mad at Todrick, you guys. I'm having a mad moment. I feel like he should donate all those Uggs to me and others because he doesn't deserve all those cute Uggs or those cute sweaters he has. The best thing about Todrick is his style. That's all I can say about Todrick right now. And that he hangs out with Chada because she's lovely. That's all I can think of. Yeah. Other than that, how personal he got, it's just gross. It's just gross. Atharella, she said, what? Joleen, did you hear Cynthia tell Carson all she has in this game is him and her? Shanna, what? Cynthia is so, maybe she's having a spell. I don't know what is going on with Cynthia. Cynthia, come back to us, please, my darling. But I found a very interesting Nene Leakes clip I'm going to play for you guys that she said about, if you follow my tiki-taki, hopefully I don't get demonetized for this. I put this in a video as Cynthia's like, I've always liked Misha. I've always thought she was excellent. Let me kind of pull it up here. I wanted to add something else to it, but I didn't get a chance to, but okay. So once it gets to the point, that point of the TikTok, I'll play the audio. But I thought it was interesting. 7 years ago on an episode of Watch What Happens Live, you know, Nene Leakes always had iconic Watch What Happens Lives. And she was talking about Cynthia. And I was like, this is so on brand and on point for what's happening right now. Okay.
She said her ass in an HOH room for 10 days.
This is Cynthia talking about Misha.
Made anybody really feel comfortable. And it wasn't like once Chris Patrick got in there, that's when I realized, like, oh my God. Like,
you know what? I don't have to play this because it says music bite. I'll just play the clip I have. Duh, Joleen. Okay. So here's Nene on Cynthia. You guys ready? And Andy Cohen's like, what? And this is 7 years ago. Watch What Happens Live. Okay.
I think that Cynthia will blow whichever way the wind blows. That's what I think. When you have a friend and they do something wrong or something you don't like, I don't think you align yourself with the enemy. I think that you stick with your friend and you say, look, we were friends. I liked you. You did this and I did not like that. But at the end of the day, you're not going to align yourself with the enemy. I just think that people like to say, they're so loyal and they're such good friends. But then why you can't stand on your own 2 feet?
Nene Leakes, a little bit of truth telling right there, basically saying, you know, that Cynthia blows where the wind blows, which is what she's doing right now. It's just like Todrick tells her one thing, she's like, I'm over here. And that, yeah, she's just kind of a freaking, you know, she's wishy-washy on this. And she can't stand on her own 2 feet right now. And it's just like, HRHT Queen said Chada said she couldn't believe how Todrick was acting. I'm sure she's like, come on. Because here's the deal. Todrick and Misha are literally counting their jury votes all the time. Who's going to vote for them? Nobody. You two better be sitting next to each other because up against anyone else, I don't think you're going to have any votes, especially Todrick. Does he not understand Celebrity Big Brother? This isn't like the jury is sequestered. The jury is watching you. So Teddy Mellencamp, Mariah Nagasu, everyone who's left, you know, Chris Kirkpatrick, they can see what you've said and they will tell the others what you've said. And so at first when, you know, Chris Kirkpatrick and Shanna were saying, God, Todrick is saying these awful things about people. I was like, well, what is it? Because they cut the feed so much, I didn't hear it. You know, I know he said some stuff about Teddy, but I didn't think it was anything too blasphemous. But now today, they still got the feeds a lot, but I was able to hear a lot of what he was saying and just how personal this man became regarding a game. It just was ridiculous. And then, like I said, Chris Kirkpatrick's out of the house now. And TwoFab did an article that said Chris Kirkpatrick calls out Todrick Hall's Big Brother game reveals COVID scare. So Chris Kirkpatrick had to leave because of COVID scare. And then he came back in the house early on in the game. I'm so sorry. I never yawn when I'm live with you guys. But okay. Chris Kirkpatrick was forced to say bye from Celebrity Big Brother, blah, blah, boo, blue, boo, 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 boo. Okay. Unfortunately, okay, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the good stuff. Come on, TwoFab. Okay. TwoFab caught up with Chris in the morning after he was voted out, where he shared how he really feels about Misha and Todrick Hall's gameplay. Chris Kattan's self-elimination, Cynthia and Todd's heated confrontation, and getting a false positive COVID test during filming that almost shook up the whole show. Okay, they asked him, a lot went down this week for us to talk about, but let's start with you effectively backdooring yourself. We don't care. He was happy about that. Okay, how about this? Todrick and Misha have been getting in a very arrogant edit. It's not just the edit. That's how it is on the feeds. Were they really sweeping through the house as if they'd already won? Is that why you wanted to flip the house so bad? And Chris Kirkpatrick said, yep, completely. That's exactly why I wanted it. I mean, they were in the bathroom already talking about who was going to vote for them when it was time to vote for who wins Big Brother. And they were like, this person's got you and this person's got me. And I love Misha. I really do. And that's part of who she is. She's a fighter. She's got to be, tough. I think on Todrick's part, it was a little bit, not warranted. He's kind of playing a game that I could have never played. But, for the most part, it is this whole heir apparent. And, I think the problem was I also didn't know where I sat in this so-called alliance we had. Julie even seemed surprised by Todrick's farewell message to you, which was a little shady. You laughed it off, but after sitting with it for a night, are you okay with it? I actually had a little screenshot of Julie Chen. I don't know if I put it in here, but it was her making a little face. There it is. Okay, when Julie was like, you backdoored yourself, Chrissy Poo. Okay, so this is Julie. They asked Chris that. He goes, I mean, I'm okay with it. It's how he wants to play. It's who he is. I mean, earlier that day, he told me that, I'm a horrible father. Chris Kirkpatrick is saying this right now, you guys. Okay. So listen, I'm sorry to be so bossy. This is how I am late at night. I apologize. He said, so again, they asked if he was okay with Todrick's goodbye message. What Todrick was like, I will change all the awful things I said about you in the DR if you make it right somehow. I'll take it back, but you got to make it right. Chris Kirkpatrick's like, make what right? Huh? So they asked him how he felt about it. Chris Kirkpatrick said, I mean, I'm okay with it. It's how he wants to play. It's who he is. I mean, earlier that day, he told me, I'm a horrible father and I'm going to embarrass my child and, things like that. So I didn't put it past him. I'm sorry he feels that way. It hurts to know that, someone could play the game like that. But in the end, I went in hopefully trying to be honest and sincere about everything. And I walked out the door, hopefully trying to be honest and sincere, And he even came after me for that saying, he says, a lot. Don't try to play this high and mighty honest game. And you're a dirty player and a piece of crap. And all this. And all that stuff hurt. But in the end, I kept my focus. I didn't let the house break me. I didn't let anybody in there break me because, I know outside those walls, if that were on the street and he said something like that, it would be a lot different. Oh, he's bringing up the Todd Bridges street talk, not what happens in the streets. Chris Kirkpatrick, you're going to street it up. But it isn't. And I don't like people that play victims all the time. Gosh, I understand that. He let us know many, many times that he's bullied for being gay or for him being Black. And I never saw any of that coming in. If anything, it made me feel more comfortable. But I don't like when people use that as a bargaining chip or in the game, and especially accusing me of being some stereotypical straight white guy that's like this evil, evil person. Oh my gosh. Let's see if there's anything else about him. All right, that's as much as I can pretty much. Oh, the confrontation between Cynthia and Todd. What was it like to witness? What was the most heated moment you witnessed? He said, I didn't witness it. We saw he was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom. I was chilling in the bathroom and I heard yelling going on. I had Misha's red thing on my back or something to kind of help pain in the back. And I heard yelling going on. I thought it was joking because, everybody yells at all times. Lamar yells at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning like it's normal. So, it was just yelling to me. And it wasn't until Todd came in really huffed up and still screaming and like, F this or whatever, that I was like, wait, this is real. Like, what's going on? So I really didn't know exactly what happened. But then when I found out it was over a vote from the very first eviction, it was kind of crazy. Just so you guys know, that craziness is all the time. So when something like that happens, it's like, oh, somebody's getting weird again. It's just like, it is what it is. You almost just fall back to sleep or whatever you're doing. Okay. So crazy that Todrick has said all of this stuff. Also, thank you, Diana Lee, for the super chat or super sticker. I can't tell which one it is, but thank you. Yes, I'm here for all you night owls. Also, Misha said so, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she made a reference to they very much belittle Shayna's career. So now Shanna has kind of, I think she's told a couple people too, like everyone has something to go back to, and I don't, being maybe like career-wise or something. So then Todrick's like, well, I don't know, work harder, do something. He's talking behind her back. And then at one point, he's put down her career and her success. And now Misha said, Misha was, I don't know, right when she started talking to Cynthia, when Todrick was doing the what's her face exposed party, the Shayna exposed party, that's when Misha was like, and I know you don't know my story, Cynthia, and I was born a very small child, a baby, if you will, an infant. I had to go through infancy. I just had my mom, single mom, loved her, worked very hard. I had the same wrestling shoes since till 11th grade, and that was fine. I learned a lot from that, and I never had much. And now I have something. I've worked really hard. I punched a lot of people in the face to get where I'm at. And it's an art form. It really is, because you have to kick too and put people in positions, and you have to train, obviously. I worked very hard. But like, I don't respect. She kind of was indicating that she didn't respect what Shayna did. They act like Shayna just laid on her back to get money. And even if she did, it's none of your business. But she didn't. She's had acting jobs, been on a show, had her own reality show, and was Miss USA. And the fact that someone who, let's just be honest, I respect what all of them do. But again, you said, I'm a role model. You beat people up for a living. What am I missing here? You punch people in the face and kick them and bruise them and hurt them and make them bleed and break their orbital sockets or get your arm broken by Ronda Rousey. But somehow your job is superior to someone who may or may not have posed for Playboy. Or I don't understand how that's so above. I don't understand. It at its core, they're both like the very most basic, whether you're naked or you're beating people up. I mean, that's just like, it harkens back to, I don't know what I'm saying right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she's acting as though, if you're going to get real snotty, she went and got some like PhD from Yale, and she's doing like genetic testing to cure genetic diseases. Again, you punch people in a cage, and yeah, that is very, you have to, there's a lot more that goes into it. But it's like me going, look at her. She's just a Miss USA and an actress. Well, I'm a stand-up comedian. So sometimes I tell dick jokes on stage. Like, I'm not going to blow smoke up my own ass about that. I mean, I was just like, Misha, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How could Todrick have hung out with the cookout for this long? Someone tweeted that and play this bad. I don't understand. I don't understand. Apparently there was another exit interview he did get completely different. Interesting. I wonder if either which one he had to edit. You know what I mean? Wow. It's unfortunate, you know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I really, I don't know. Okay. All I can say is I don't know. I gotta go to bed. I mean, this has been such a crazy day. There were so many times it was entertaining, but there were so many times where you're like, you guys are taking yourselves way too seriously. This is Celebrity Big Brother, and you can be a little messy, but I feel like they're being way too messy and way too negligent and irresponsible with people's lives. It's just a little weird. It's weird. Tilly's already fast asleep. She's like, I'm done. She's in her little bed and she's done. She's gonna be crying at me, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what does it do for Misha to put and Todrick to put Shayna's career down? How does that help them in the game? That's just mean. It's weird. It's weird to me. It's very weird. So, there you go. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my late night sporadic lives, but I love them and I love the feeds, and let's hope that Carson, when he said maybe there's a way to get back on track, that there is for Shayna's sake, because as of now, he has put up on the block. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but he put up Misha and he put up Todd. But the plan is to someone win the POV and backdoor Shayna. And I'm like, you're gonna backdoor the person who just freaking saved you, literally, Carson. And Todrick was talking, Mr. Superfan. Well, if I win the POV, then I'm gonna nominate Shayna. You don't get to do the replacement nominee. You just get to take someone off the block. That's the HOH's job. But I guess they are, being the puppet master right today and pulling the strings for Carson's HOH. So there you go. So thank you guys. You guys are all so kind. Leave a comment after the video post. I didn't get to highlight a lot of your comments. Let me know how you're feeling about the current situation in the house. What do you hope happens with the Shayna situation? Just anything, all your thoughts and hopes and opinions and dreams. Okay. And follow me on social media. You guys have been amazing. Like I said, I'm almost to 800, I think, on TikTok, which is so cool. And then at 1,000, I can go live, which is just one of the perks and super fun. Also, you can join my Patreon, you can join YouTube, or you can just keep joining these lives. I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. And I will be back, you know me, very soon, probably very late, with another live feed spoilers and updates that I try to make funny. Tonight's wasn't as funny as I like to make them, but we had some serious things to cover, but you guys rolled with it and I appreciate you for it. So good night.